Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Jane's Fighters Anthology. We'll be finishing off the Vietnam era today with a quick showcase of the A-6E Intruder, the Navy's principal strike aircraft during Vietnam and for decades afterwards. The A-6 was a medium attack aircraft, or medium bomber, intended to give the Navy the ability to attack fairly substantial ground targets or large formations, as well as to be able to attack enemy ships. Since most of the time we weren't fighting any big warships in Vietnam, in fact, none of the time really, we won't be able to showcase much of its anti-sea ability, but I believe it was capable of firing harpoon missiles. But will basically just be a huge bomb truck. Now we'll take our standard quick mission escort of F-4J Phantoms and F-8 Crusaders, and we'll pit them against the usual complement of 3 MiG-17s and 3 MiG-21s. We'll do sunset just for funsies. We'll be 20 miles from the attack. We'll take a custom weapons load. And in this case, we'll attack cargo ships. This was a mission we actually ran escort for A-6s doing this very mission. So now we get to be the other side of that coin. And you can see that they have only 4 hardpoint groups, but they have a lot of weight to play with. They have a very decent internal fuel. They're subsonic, just like the A4 and the A7. That was Navy doctrine at the time, I guess, was they valued fuel efficiency above anything else in the strike craft, really. So we'll take, we could take harpoons, but what we're going to do is we'll just do it the old-fashioned way, and we'll take a bunch of 2,000-pound bombs. Which is not as many as I was hoping. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll take 2 2,000-pound bombs and 8 500-pound bombs. That should be more than sufficient to, between our 3 intruders, because they'll only give us like a few cargo ships. Now, as you may have noticed, while the F4 cockpit and the F8 cockpit were somewhat resembling of the real thing, okay, with the exception of the A7 II, I believe, is also somewhat modeled after the real thing. The A4 and the A6, since they weren't really meant to be playable aircraft, I don't know why they suddenly aren't here. But this is not the cockpit for the A6, I believe. No, I don't think this is. Not the 70s era. With the multifunction displays here. So I think this one might be from ATF. So this might be the cockpit from the B-2 stealth bomber, actually.
12 miles.
I do know when I played like an A6 in multiplayer once in USNM 97, I believe they just used the cockpit of the AC-130. It looks like our escorts are firing their sparrows and probably missing these poor bastards. Although it's not their fault.
9 miles.
We're going to lead with the heavy boys. And we're at the full throttle right now. You can see this is not a super maneuverable plane. So, you know, there's no dogfighting in this.
7 miles.
We are purely a bomb truck, first and foremost. And it's just us and our weapons. Just us and our weapons officer or navigator.
6 miles.
Woo! Scary.
5 miles.
But he's not shooting us, so I guess that's a good thing. Yeah, we'll do a bit of a dive bombing profile on these guys. The A-6 isn't really built for it, but that doesn't mean we can't do it. At least it's not built to the same degree that I believe the A4 and A7. So the flak is lighting us up, and we have a good shot at that cargo hold. Let's hope we bust right through it and ignite some ordnance or whatever, or fuel. And we very nearly took out that ship.
I'm taking damage.
So if we switch, we'll switch to our Mark 82s for a second pass. I feel like that's rolling a lot faster than A6 would. I have no basis for that information, but it never struck me as a super slow aircraft. I'd expect it to go not super slow, but slower than that. Certainly you can see how slow we're turning. Admittedly, we're at full throttle, but we're also only at around 370 knots right now, too. So we aren't
3 miles. 10 o'clock.
It's not like we're trying to turbo supersonic. So we'll probably drop 2 bombs on this pass.
2 miles.
And that should be enough to finish this poor guy off.
I'm taking damage. I'm taking damage. Debris is flying.
And that was indeed enough to finish him off. So we'll set up for it looks like they led with the 2,000 pounders as well. So we'll finish them off with our Mark 82s.
One mile in range.
Yeah, I feel like we would have a bombardier sight of some sort for this, so we could do these level bombing tactics instead of having to hide our cockpit to get away with it. So that's 2 of the 3 ships down. There should be, there we go, 1 more in the middle. He hasn't even been touched yet. Wow, we certainly can't let him go without a taste of freedom. 2,000 pounds of freedom. Delivered at a fair bit under the speed limit. So we'll set up for a run. This being the big boy, we want to go high.
2 miles in range.
And go. Clear. Probably should have checked before we fired that bomb, but that just leaves us with 2 500-pound bombs. And yes, that is dirt you see there. You can crater water in this game as silly as it is. It'd be something if it was like shallow, then I could definitely see it being more of a thing, but with it being I mean, it's deep enough for cargo ships, so it's got to be at least 10, 12 feet, I would think.
1 mile in range.
And these should just about finish them off. And they did. And that's the mission. So we'll end this episode there. And I think that was a good showcase of the A6. Not particularly exciting, but it's nice, I think, so it says 9 targets because in addition to the ground targets that we assigned ourselves, all aircraft are also assigned targets. So those MiG interceptors we put up, those were also assigned targets. But it's nice to fly different things and just get a different feel. Can you imagine if we had to do... Now, in other games, we will be forced to choose, you know, and I think it's more realistic that you choose, you know, a flight group that flies one type of aircraft and you're going to stick with it. So, you know, you might start a campaign as 7th Squadron and fly A4s in Vietnam, and all you're going to get is ground attack missions. Whereas if you fly, say, an F4J with Squadron 9 in Vietnam, you might get a mix of ground attack missions or intercept missions. And then let's say you decide to fly, let's say an F-15 with Squadron 12 with Desert Storm. All you're going to get, if you're flying a C variant at least, all you're really going to get is air intercept missions. And that can be boring sometimes. But I see why, you know, it's easy to see why the developers chose to let you experience playing different types of aircraft in the campaign. Like in Vietnam, for example, we could choose between the F-4B, the F-4J, the F-8J, the A-7E, I believe is what the US NF-97 gave you. Oh, I could be mistaken on that. But what you'll see when we do the Ukraine campaign next time is we won't... I suppose I should explain it more then, but they will start giving us... We can't just go with one aircraft the whole campaign. We could in theory, but it'd be a lot more difficult. And really the only viable way to do that would be to fly the Hornet. But we won't do that. We will be flying at least 2 aircraft in the Ukraine campaign. So there won't be as much to... I think the only other option is the A7 and the Su-33. So there won't be as much to showcase afterwards. And then the Air Force campaigns, or the ATF campaigns that we'll do later, you absolutely have to fly a minimum of 3 aircraft, and probably 4 in general is optimal. So we'll see a bigger variety of aircraft in the campaigns from now on, and we won't have to do as much of these show-off missions. But I think that's enough for this episode. It's the last aircraft that I believe I wanted to show off. And next time we will be starting my favorite campaign in the whole game. And actually one of my favorite campaigns out of any video game. And you'll see why next episode. So stay tuned. See you then.